Taurus, this is your week ahead astrology forecast by Astrology Motivation from Born Without Boundaries. Every single week, we dive deep into the major planetary aspects and transits and how they are impacting your natal sun. So we're going to start out really broad with all the general stuff that everybody should know, and then we're going to focus down into Taurus specific interactions and information. And then I will break things down into the decans, which is a group of 10 degrees. And whichever group of 10 degrees your natal sun falls into, I will be able to tell you how and what is impacting your natal sun and how that will sort of translate into your day to day. You do not need anything but your birth date for this video to understand it and enjoy it. But if you want a real accurate understanding of it, then go grab your natal chart. I know a lot of you already have it. If you don't, it's real easy to get. It's free. Actually, just search free natal chart or free birth chart. There's a lot of websites that do it. Put in your birth date, which you already have, your place of birth, and your time of birth. And with that information, it can spit you out a natal chart, and you're on your way to understanding a deeper you and a deeper connection to your universe. So let's start out with the big stuff, Taurus, shall we? So big stuff. We had a major transit yesterday, if you're watching this video the day that it's uploaded, on the 22nd. So this is from the week June 22nd to the 28th. It's already said that in the title and the thumbnail, but I just wanted to review that. So this would be the 22nd, right? So yesterday, the sun went into Cancer. We may have discussed it in last week's video. So the sun transited into Cancer. It was the summer solstice, longest day of the year. Just this beautiful energy of sunshine, happiness, optimism, and warmth. At least if you're in the northern hemisphere, that's our summertime. And then toward the end of this week, a major transit will happen. Mercury will go into Cancer as well, and it will conjunct the sun in Cancer by the 27th of this week, which actually literally does happen this week. So the sun and the summer solstice happened. The sun transited into Cancer just yesterday. So happy Cancer season to all your Cancerian friends. And then we have Mercury conjuncting the sun by the 26th and actually transiting into Cancer itself by the 27th. So that's the major transit this week. We also have a grand trine that's happening all week long with the sun in the first 3 degrees of Cancer, trine to Saturn, which is at 7 degrees Pisces, and the South Node, which is at 1 degree Scorpio. We have a grand water trine that says we're going with the flow, intuitively finding our flow when it comes to this beautiful energy of what we can do, how to practically apply all of our talents and skills and really be seen for it, be known for it, and be confident in it. So it's a very productive energy. We also have a very fortunate and helpful Jupiter sextile to Saturn, which is just optimism and adventureness and growth and learning, combined with maturity, steadfastness, groundedness, and tenacity. We can get anything done in this energy. And it really is a phenomenal energy to expand, broaden, and really work on your capabilities and your career. Fantastic. We have this big conjunction between Venus and Mars, which is happening in Leo, the sign of romance. So you do, like exactly. It's very sensual energy. It's very sexy energy. It's very virile energy. It is definitely romantic energy, and considering it's trine to Chiron, we could be healing old past traumas through this conjunction. And because it's square to Uranus, we are legitimately rebelling and revolting. We're having our sexual revolution. We're not letting anybody tell us what's what. This is a sense of really coming out and finding that there is connection for you, connectivity, and finding your own sense of sexuality and sensuality. So I love that energy as well. Let's get into Taurus specific energy, shall we? So when I look at Taurus specific energy, I look at what's happening in the zodiac sign of Taurus, and I also look at what's happening with your ruling dignitary, which is Venus. So in the zodiac sign of Taurus, we still have some major activity because we have Jupiter at 8 degrees. It's actually, it's 8 degrees this week. And then we have Uranus at 21 degrees. So, okay. That's actually really, really great energy because we have to look, okay, what's happening with Jupiter? Well, we know Jupiter is sextile to Saturn, right? And we know that Uranus is square to the Mars-Venus conjunction. So this is tremendous amounts of energy of getting things done, pushing forward, and really changing our self-worth, our own self-worth, feeling that there is major changes that are coming, especially when it comes to those sensual, sexual aspects of us, as well as this Jupiter energy bringing a great deal of fortune, especially to a certain group of you, getting things done, huge expansion and growth for career, right? So we go over to Venus, who is transiting between 14 and 19 degrees Leo over this week. That's where she'll travel. She's conjunct to Mars. She's trying to Chiron. She's square to Uranus, but also she is semi-square to the Sun, and by the 27th, she'll be semi-square to the Mercury conjunct the Sun. What does that mean? Well, first of all, she's healing. There's a healthiness, there's a sense of finding your own sense of who you are, sense of your sexuality, who you're attracted to, maybe major surprises happening when it comes to that, and healing when it comes through this sort of catharsis of being able to find peace from all the suffering that you've experienced in the past. I think it's learning your lessons. I think it's learning what has hurt you and deciding to do different and make a change and not make the same mistakes because you finally realize what they were. So this could be great time for romance here because it's grounded and it's logical and it's based on what not to do. And I kind of like that energy. But this semi-square to the Sun and semi-square to Mercury is this energy of, yeah, you're a little shaky. And you should be because maybe your confidence is being tested. That's okay. Do it anyway. And this semi-square to Mercury by the end of the week is a sense of kind of like just blah, 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 with your talk, not really knowing what to say or how to communicate things correctly. Go slow. Count to 10. Speak few words and speak them slowly so that you can think about them before you speak. Just give yourself the time. Don't rush it. Let's get into the decans. So, Taurus, if your natal sun, if you know that your natal sun falls between 0 and 9 degrees Taurus, it is in the first decan of Taurus, and you are Taurus once. So, the correlating birthdays are essentially April Tauruses. So, April 22nd through the 30th, maybe even the 1st or the 31st, something like that would be Taurus ones. Especially... Okay, so Jupiter is at 8 degrees Taurus now, so it's at the very end of the first decan of Taurus. What does that mean? That especially you guys born more toward the 30th, 31st, if they have a 31st in, what is it, April? Yeah, and the 1st of May, it's you guys that are really going to be feeling this conjunction with Jupiter. Understand something. That's not necessarily a good thing. It gives you a real big head and a real big expectation of the way that you are seen and what you deserve. So it can also give you this sense of wonder and amazement, and I want to learn, right? But it could also soup you up with this expectation of entitlement. So learning, expansion, yes. Entitlement, no. We also have a beautiful sextile to the Sun, so you're going to also have a lot of frickin' confidence this week, every single one of you. And then there's also a sextile to Mercury as of the 26th. Okay, so as of the 26th, you're going to be sextile the Sun, sextile Mercury, conjunct Jupiter. This is a beautiful frickin' week. If you are on the cusp between Taurus and Aries, this actually starts on the 24th for you guys. Right? So that's those of you who are born right there around April 22nd, 23rd. Beautiful freaking time for you guys. Wonderful days. Some really great energy. Some really great days. that are going to happen there for you. Lots of confidence, lots of opportunity, really being able to shine, communicate yourself well, and be filled with confidence. These days could bring in a lot of fortune and really joy for you. FYI, enjoy them. You are also sextile to Saturn, which is exceptional energy because it means you're getting things done. Promotions could be happening this week. You're moving forward with your career, your sense of who you are. People are taking you seriously. The law is working for you. The establishment is working for you. This is a beautiful week. You have a long-term square to Pluto, which is just essentially, it's frustrating change. It's formidability, a sense of people being intimidated by you as soon as you walk into the room. I don't think that's going to affect you or harm you this week at all. That's sort of long term. Remember, I've always say with a Sun square Pluto, relentless, not ruthless, right? And this week, there's no need to be ruthless because there's so many sextiles opening doors for you. So relentless, yes, but I think that relentlessness is going to open up doors for you this week. I love it. Now, Taurus 2s, if your natal sun is between May 1st and May 10th, you are Taurus 2s. Let me go back. I'm sorry. If your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Taurus, you are in the second decan. Your natal sun is in the second decan of Taurus, and you are Taurus 2s. This correlates to the birthdays between May 1st and May 10th. I hope that was clear. If you are born around the 11th or 12th, no, I'm sorry. If you are born around the 9th or 10th of, hold on a second. If you're born around the 1st or 2nd of April, I wrote that down wrong. I'm sorry. So if you're born around the 1st or 2nd of May, your natal suns are already experiencing a conjunction to Jupiter, which means confidence. And it means kind of intrepidatiousness. And it means I want to explore. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to meet the world. But it also means could be a little bit entitled, right? Could be wanting to make things happen too fast or expect success too quickly. So just be aware of that energy. Remember, open, intrepidatious, yes. Entitled, no. Think about that. You have a semi-square to Neptune, which could mean brain fog or dazing off into daydreams a little bit too often, or just finding that people are trying to pull your leg a little bit too much. That could be for the next couple of years, though. That's long term. And then you have a square. Your natal suns are square to this Venus-Mars conjunction, which means tension or frustration, sexual tension, sexual frustration could be impacting or affecting your romantic life. So what does that mean overall? Your expectations don't really meet your reality this week, and it can be very, very frustrating. So a good thing to do this week is to just go slower. Take it one step at a time and try to be as realistic as possible with what's going on in your life. Don't fall for any bullshit. And in terms of this, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. You let me know in the comments below how this energy is impacting you. But especially when it comes to that tension with that Mars-Venus conjunction, that square, these challenges will show you where you're frustrated, and that frustration will let you know where you need to change things. And that could really, really be a huge leap forward to you if you're willing to see it and learn from it. Just an FYI. Taurus 3s. So if your natal suns are between 20 and 29 degrees Taurus, they are in the third decan of Taurus, and you are Taurus 3s. This correlates to Taurus birthdays between, say, May 11th and the 21st. So you guys are conjunct Uranus, which means you're already odd things, strange things are happening. Not challenges so much as the oddities of your personality are coming up a lot, and you don't want to do the norm, and you're tired of the establishment. So you could find yourself being sort of a natural rebel rouser over these next couple of years. We also have a long-term sextile to Neptune, so this is highly creative, unbound energy. You're probably, with a conjunction to Uranus and a sextile to Neptune, you're surprising yourself. Shit is coming out of nowhere and you're surprising yourself, but I think you're liking the ride. We also have a long-term square to Saturn, which means, yeah, you're clashing with the establishment, and trine to Pluto, which means you're supposed to. This is all part of your destiny and path to sort of spring forth and lead something new, or a brand new version of who you are, which is probably why you're clashing, because you're changing and you're not meeting people's expectations, but that's not your responsibility, right? There you go. This week, your natal suns are square to Mars. Venus is a little bit off, but you're definitely square to Mars, and that energy can be, you get into a lot of fights, a lot of very pugilistic, pop-off-ish, also highly sexually energized, right? There could be a lot of conflict, especially in your romantic situations. If your birthdays are around the 12th or 13th, you're also square to Venus by the 26th of this month, of this week. So you'll be square to both Mars and Venus. So there could be major conflicts and dissonance when it comes to your sensuality, your sexuality, maybe just sexual frustration, or your romantic relationships. So I wrote down angry, frustrating, major energy bursts that are going to be coming out of you. And yes, it's because you're frustrated. You want to see things change, and I don't think they can change fast enough for you. Write it down, map it up, and create. Remember, people will listen more to stories or art forms to get a message across than they will to just being blunt with them. So maybe that's what you're really going to be inspired to do and really going to be generating over the next couple of years. You let me know in the comments below. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe to this channel and come on over to Born Without Boundaries Tarot for your week ahead tarot card reading. I love you, Taurus.